Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, okay. I'm assuming everybody's in business in here, yeah?
Yeah.
What sort of size business have we got? What sort of number of people? How many employ under 5? Anybody more than 5? Okay, there you got target. Oh, I thought you'd get your camera out, ready for the guys that are recruiting, all the people that need new employees. Right, guys, today I'm going to talk about 3 things, and I want you to try and remember them, okay? Hindsight, insight, and foresight. What are the 3 things? Okay. Hindsight relates to yesterday, insight relates to today, and foresight is looking into the future. How do you differentiate your business from that of everybody else around you? I think the gentleman over there asked earlier on, how many people got competitors in here? How do you differentiate yourself?
By unique service.
Yep, okay, provide a unique service, create additional value. There's a number of different sort of ways. But most people have the tendency to look at linear problems and come out with linear solutions, which means you're just another average business doing the same as somebody else is doing it, slightly differently worded, slightly differently dressed, cosmetically, but other than that, you're all literally competing in the same arena, trying to do the same thing. So the thing that holds most of us back is usually hindsight. So if you get the average business, it sits down, they've been in business for a year now, and they're going to forecast their next year's figures. Hindsight is always dictating, these are my abilities, this is what I've always done. Here's my box of tools. But then everybody in my industry is growing by 5%, 7%, 10%. So again, you're being held as a hostage by hindsight. Everywhere you go, you're driven by hindsight. So you're thinking, this is what I achieved last year, this is what I'm going to be able to do next year. I'll add another 5%, 10%, 20%. You need to get out of that trap and try and go beyond, so hindsight is left so far behind that you can't even relate to it, you can't even see it. So therefore, any foresight that you have, you're having to create new tools, new systems, new processes to see things beyond what you would normally see. So I'm just going to give a simple example. If you're doing 100 grand a year, and normal conventional hindsight will tell you, right, next year we're going to try and achieve 110, 120 grand. In order to get rid of hindsight and leave hindsight way behind, and you want to be looking at insight with a view on the foresight. So if you just even multiply that by 5 or 10, you're not going to be able to relate anything to yesterday from hindsight. You're going to have to come up with new creative ways. You're going to have to think beyond. You know the old saying about thinking outside of the box, or 95% of the people are doing that, and you in the 5% do that. What does all that mean? It basically means that 95% of the people are linear thinkers. They see a linear problem, they come out with a linear solution. The 5% are the ones that are coming up with non-linear solutions to linear problems. Those are the people that break away from the herd and take leaps and bounds and stay ahead of everybody else. So how do you create non-linear solutions to your business? What are the linear problems that you're currently facing in your business, and you're still applying linear solutions to it? And then wondering, why is it that I'm still in the same herd? Why is it that I've still got the same sort of problems every single month, every single year? It's because you're doing the same as everybody else is trying to do, and that's to survive. And the word survival means exactly just that. 1 minute, you come out for a breath of fresh air, and next minute you push back down again. So until you start to apply a different way of thinking, you're not going to get out there. You're not going to be able to come up with different solutions. You're not going to be able to see beyond your little comfort zones that you're so used to sitting in your little comfort zones. You need to get out those comfort zones. So I'm going to share a few of the examples with you, which will help you to try and start thinking a little bit. Then I'll give you a little exercise on each table to come up with, see if you can find answers and see which table comes out with the best solutions to it. About 5 years back, one of the banks referred a client to me The client had just under £800,000 every single month to make repayments. He'd got first charges, second charges, third charges, you name every charge under the sun that he had. He'd more or less milked everything. This guy was a multi-millionaire. He'd got properties all across London, but unfortunately he couldn't borrow any more money. The bank wouldn't give him any more. He'd borrowed from loan sharks, he'd borrowed from everybody. But his commitments was he's still about £50,000-60,000 every single month short, and he's just getting deeper and deeper. The bank referred him to me, say, Mo, can you do something with this guy? Oh, by the way, he can't pay you. I see what? He can't pay you. That's okay, let's have a coffee with him. Let's spend a bit of time. We spent a bit of time, and we start to see what the problem was, and then why he's not making money. Because again, he's got a linear problem. He's gone to financial, he's gone to his accountants, he's gone to his banker, he's gone to everybody else. So everybody else is giving him a straightforward linear solution, which isn't really helping him, that he needs more money. So we sat down there and worked out, I said, okay, let's do a few little things here slightly. You've got 780, just under 800 grand a month going out. You've got the same amount coming in, but they're all going out at different sort of levels. Some beginning of the month, middle of the month, end of the month. So if we were to retime some of these payments around, so they all come in mostly at the first week of each month, and the people that we're going to pay, if we can reschedule some of their payments towards the last end of the month, now we have nearly 800 grand to play with. Now, the linear person said, well, you get 800 grand, that means we can put it on the overnight deposits and make a small amount. Well, that's not going to solve his problem. Those are so small incremental increases. Now, to come up with non-linear solutions to linear problems, you've got to do something unconventional. So we grabbed him and said, okay, we're going to do something differently. We're going to go to the British car auctions, premier car auctions, where they sell the Rolls Royces, the top of the range vehicles, all around about 100, 200, 300 grand each. He said, well, I'm not in the car business. Yeah, of course you're not in the car business. You're in the business to make sure your payments are met, that you're short for 50, 60,000 every single month. It took about 2-3 weeks to convince him. Went to about 2-3 different auctions. He edgily wouldn't put his hand up. Eventually got him to buy a car for about, I think it was a Rolls Royce for about 120,000. Within a week, we turned that car over with the 20,000 profit on it. And then we went back, done the same thing. Over a period of 3 months, he got his confidence back. He was picking up 2 or 3 vehicles every single month. And you know what he was making? He was making 100 grand every month by that surplus money, and only risking a small percentage of that money. He became so enthralled by it that he couldn't stay away from the auction. Some of the months he'd come back with more cars than anything else. But the thing is, until you start looking at things unconventionally to everybody else, you're not going to find the solutions. Any solution that you find that are linearly only going to give you incremental increases. You need to break away from the herd. We're just working with a large call center up north at the moment that employs 400 people. And they've commoditized themselves. Anybody use here call centers, contact centers, call them what you like. You really are a commodity. Just like the insurance company, you can go onto a Go Compare site and look at the prices. You're literally allowing yourself to be a commodity. Direct line's gone away. If you want us, you've got to come onto our site. We're not playing your game. You want to play with us, you play by our rules. They've moved away from the commodity trap. So the call centers, everybody knows, okay, inbound calls, they charge X amount per call. Outbound calls, they charge X amount per call. So how do you break away from that? How do you become unconventional? They have a price tag of what the company's worth. They employ about 400 people to handle the calls for major corporates, including the NHS, some of the government departments. So how do we break out of that mold and put a bigger value on that business? So it's no longer commoditized. Again, I'll give you a simple example. My solution to them was, let's evolve away from the contact center and let's move yourself into the space of a marketing arena. Ooh, Mo, you're not the first person to suggest that. Personally, I don't think it's a good idea. We'll stay as a contact center. Okay, I said, let me put it to you a simple analogy and then tell me the same again. A graduate leaves university as a graphic designer. He sets up his business. He's designing websites. £200, £500, £1,000 for a website. He has a ceiling that he's going to ultimately hit eventually that he can't get beyond. So he might be hitting 1,000, might get a little bit more, might get £1,500, but he'll always hover around that £1,000 to make that living. 12 months later, he comes and has a chat with Uncle Mo. Mo, what shall I do now? I can't get beyond that 1,000. I sort of seem to hit that ceiling back and forth. Okay, let's recreate you. You've got a ceiling there. The next level for you to evolve into, you call yourself a brand strategist, a brand specialist. So off he goes. Now all of a sudden he finds another ceiling, 5,000, 6,000. He keeps hitting the 10,000 within that 12 months, and he can't get, per job that he gets, he can't get beyond the 10,000. 12 months later, comes back and sees Uncle Mo again. Uncle Mo, what shall I do? I can't get an invoice beyond the 10,000. How can I evolve again? The next level is become a marketing agency. So he's evolved. Now by explaining that to the call center, the penny dropped. And they started to listen and say, okay, where do we stand now? The other thing the call center was doing was every time they took on a major contract, they would have to go get financed that deal. The bank had to put the money up, the directors had to put the money up, but retransforming around as an agency, we get money up front. Because they're all major corporate companies, they're happy. As long as you're going to be doing all the work under one roof, again start to find solutions. So if you start looking at linear problems, you're going to come up with linear solutions, which are just going to grow you incrementally. You've got to get outside of that mindset. If you want to really, really change your business and try and take your business to the next level, you've got to really, really go beyond. So on the one hand, you've got what your abilities are. On the other hand is your capabilities. And what most of us are held back is by our abilities. Our abilities can become our disabilities if we're not careful. So if I was to ask in here, how many people are able to fly a plane in here? How many people can fly a plane? Okay, well, one person over there, great. So one person is able to fly a plane. But how many of you are capable of flying a plane? See, there you go. Now you're looking at your possibilities. You're no longer looking at your abilities, you're looking at your possibilities. Now, why is it that whenever it comes to trying to find solutions that are outside your realms, that we're always held by our abilities as opposed to what our capabilities are? And then we wonder, why are we still average at the end of the day? Why are we not sort of moving beyond what our expectations are, what everybody else's expectations are? Each one of us in here, I'm sure, feel that we have more inside us. We know we're capable of doing more, much more than what we're doing. And yet we never sort of seem to get there. Why? Because our biggest enemy we have is ourselves. Because we don't allow ourselves to get out of our own way. So the first thing you have to learn to do is move out of your own way. You know the old saying, when you start a business in the earlier days, you are the cog in the business. After a while, you become the clog. So you really, really have to move out of your own way and reevaluate yourself again. Reinvent yourself, re-evolve yourself to the next level. Otherwise, you'll stay a small business most of your life. Now again, coming back to your abilities and capabilities, I'm going to show you a simple example what our abilities are and how we can get out of that to our capabilities by allowing to push ourselves and get ourselves out of our own way. Can I just have 3 volunteers, please? Preferably 3 people I don't know, I've never met. Okay, 1, 2 more, 2, 1 more. Well, let's have a male. No, I know you, so I can't get there. There's 3. If you could just come to the front, please. You don't need your phone, you're okay. We'll put it on eBay for you if you like. Okay, so one over here, 1 in the middle, and 1 up there. In a straight line, come forward a bit more, don't be shy. Okay, so that's it. Now, I'm gonna get you to do a few things that will take you out your comfort zones. At the moment, I'm going to demonstrate to everybody what your abilities are, and then I'm going to reprogram your mind, and I'm going to then show you what your capabilities are and why you're standing in your own way. So if you just sort of point your right arm out that way, that's your right arm, yeah? That's that one, in case you're wondering. That's it. That's your right arm. Okay, now I want you to look at your fingertip. Right, watch me first. Stay looking at your fingertip and go as far as you can, and then look at where you are pointing to when you stop. And just remember, memorize. Go down. Just memorize, no, not the other way. That's it. Where you stop, try and memorize now exactly where you've stopped, as far as you can go. Go back. Go. Just memorize in your mind where you've stopped. Go on, go all three of you, and stay in that position, three of you. Okay, that's as far as you can go. Look at the fingertips so you know where you've stopped. Just memorize that. Come back around. Now, that's your abilities. That's your mind telling you you can't go beyond that. Your capabilities are, if I was to tell you, you can go 20%, 30% more than that. Would you believe me on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to prove to everybody that their capabilities are beyond what their own abilities are. So I'm going to take you through a simple exercise where I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and I'm going to talk you through the same process that you've done here, but you're only going to do it in your mind. Okay? So I don't want you physically doing anything, only do it in your mind, the exercise. I'm going to take you through it 3 times, and I'm going to reprogram. Going to get rid of Windows 97, and we're going to put Windows 10 in your head. Replace it with that. Okay? So, nice and easy. Close your eyes, count from 5 to 1, and relax yourself. Just relax. Close your eyes, that's it. Nice and relaxed. Now, your body is just an elastic band now. You're not worried about any tension, nice and relaxed. Now, in your mind's eye, only in your mind's eye, I want you to raise your right arms to where you were before. No, in your mind's eye only. Okay? Okay, stay focused, stay focused. Okay, now when I ask you to start rotating, I want you to rotate only in your mind's eye, but I want you to go 30% beyond where you stopped. Okay, start rotating. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110, 115. Come on, push a little bit more. 119, 121, push a little bit more. 125, bit more. 129. Come on, you can do a little bit more. 130, bit more. 131. Okay, start coming back around, start coming back around. Lower your arm, nice and relaxed. Deep breath. Nice and easy. Keep your eyes closed, nice and relaxed. Now, we're going to go around, do the same, but this time I want you to go 55 to 60% beyond where you stopped. Okay, your arms up, eyes closed, your arm is up in your mind's eye only in your mind's eye. Your arm is up. Now I want you to go 60% beyond where you stopped in your mind's eye. Start rotating. 70, 80, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. Come on, push a little bit more. 156, push a little bit more. 159, a little bit more. 160, come on, you can do it. 161. Okay, start coming back around, nice and relaxed, nice and relaxed. Okay, you're back, lower your arm, take a deep breath, keep your eyes closed, take a deep breath, and just relax with that elastic band now. Your body's a total elastic band. We're going to do that exercise one more time, and this time 70% you're going to go. 70% beyond what you originally stopped. Okay, arms up, nice and relaxed in your mind's eye. Now start rotating. 100, 110, 130, 140, 145, 149. Come on, push a little bit more. 151, push a little bit more. 159, come on. 160, 161, come on, do better than that. 165, 167, a little bit more. 169, come on, you can do it. 169, come on. 170, 171, come on. Well done, come back round, nice and relaxed. Lower your arm, take a deep breath. Just nice and relaxed now. Okay? Now, 1 to 5 and then open your eyes. Count 1 to 5 and then open your eyes. Okay, nice and relaxed now.
I'm going to be dizzy after that.
Do you? I'm not surprised. Because you went 70% beyond. Okay, now, your right arm out there. Right arm, yeah. That's that one. Now, look at the fingertip. And this time, 70% beyond. You've got elastic body now. You can go right on. Go beyond where you stopped. Go. Go beyond. Okay? Come back around. Okay. That was the difference between programming your mind and let yourself move out of the way. First lap was your abilities. Your mind is telling you can't go beyond that. That's as far as you can go. Because you've reprogrammed your mind, you've gone beyond what your abilities were into your capabilities. Okay? Thank you, guys. Half the battle with trying to understand where our limitations are. You know the old saying, we're always in our comfort zones and we don't want to come out of our comfort zones. We want to procrastinate, we don't want to do what we should be doing, but we know we've got to be doing, but we never do. We need people to help hold us accountable. We need people to work with. You can't work on your own. Find a partner that will work with you to hold you accountable once a week, once a fortnight, whatever. Support each other. You know, you can't do things on your own. When you're running your own business, you can't be doing everything at the top. So find somebody in here in the group, somebody that you know that's going to challenge you, that's going to push you beyond what your own limitations are. Okay? I'm going to give you a little bit of background about myself for what it's worth. I should have done that at the beginning, but I always leave it till later. I came into this country at the age of 8 with my parents. I went into my secondary school and I did my first year. After the first year, my father found my birth certificate, which was different to that of my passport. He took it to the courts ratified all the paperwork under oath, came back and he said, son, here's your passport now and your birth certificate, you've got to take that into the headmaster. I went to a school not far from here, which is now I think called Joseph Chamberlain, but it used to be called Mount Pleasant in them days. It wasn't very pleasant. Now, I had just finished in first year. And then all of a sudden, I've taken that into the headmistress, as it so happened, took the paperwork in with my passport, and oh my God, that's a big jump. We'll have to put you into fourth year. And I had just learned, you know, how to add numbers. And in fourth year, they're adding numbers and letters. I said, that's a lot of jibber jabber. You know, I kept going on about algebra or something, and it was jibber jabber to me. I just literally, I'm not being funny, within 2 months, I could not cope. It was September when I went into the fourth year, and I just could not cope. Come December, I put my hands up. I was coming up to my 16th birthday, and I said, no, I've got to leave. There's no way I can keep up with this. And I left. I went and seen the careers officer, which used to be on Newhall Street in them days. Went seen him, sat down. He gave me a little card. He said, there you go, son. Off you go. I said, what's that for? He says, a job for you. I said, what's the job? He says, a job is a labourer in a factory. I said, no, I want to do something like, you know, television and radio repairs. He says, we've got no chance here. He said, people with qualifications get them. You ain't going to get one. So I said, well, no, that's what I want to do. He said, no, you're not. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, you keep that, I'm going. And I looked in the evening mail, I seen application for apprentices wanted for electrical engineering. And I went and applied. And I was told to go in on the Saturday to take an aptitude test. And, you know, an aptitude test is the simplest thing that you can do. I'm the only idiot that failed it. Because seriously, I'm not being funny, I failed the aptitude test. And I'm told nobody can fail an aptitude test, but I failed it. So I took that, and the careers officer, he looked at me and he talked to me for a while, and he said, I think, you know, you make a good candidate, but you're going to have to pass this aptitude test. And this was in January 1971. And he said, look, I'm happy to take you on, providing over the next 3 months you either get a private tutor or get some additional tutoring to pass this aptitude test within the next 3 months, and then come September we'll enroll you into college. 3 months I went to night school, learning again, going back, getting private tutoring and stuff. I took the aptitude test. 3 months later, I was indemnified as a 5-year apprentice. And from that, I just sort of rolled one thing after another. I did my 5-year apprenticeship. After that, built a small electrical business, as Mr. Wan would know. In them days, it was televisions. We used to buy ex-rental TVs, put slot meters on the back of them for people who should watch so much TV and get the rental money out that way. 3 years later, we sold the rental company off to a company called Telebank. I buggered off to the States for a while, and that's when I met Jay Abraham and I started learning. I started learning to do things differently and start seeing things differently. I came back here, I fell in, I seen Lord Harvey speaking at London School of Economics on business recovery and turnaround. I worked for an insolvency practitioner in Finchley for 3 years, 4 days a week, free of charge, just to shadow him so I can learn from that. And then I went off to America again, learned a few things from there, and I came back, started doing the turnaround and recovery bits and pieces. And I learned as I go. And there's young Madge here as well, now from the days when we were doing the turnaround. So, you know, we've all evolved. And The first sort of decent deal that I had, I managed to find a company that was in debt and managed to hook that up with a FTSE company. I didn't really understand what a FTSE company was, apart from the fact that they were stock market listed companies. And we managed to negotiate a deal. We managed to do a few of those together, and then one bolt onto the next and the next, and that's how I sprung into that sort of arena. The point, I'm not trying to impress you or make you feel sorry for me or any way. All I'm trying to say is your past has got nothing to do with your future. So regardless of your background, regardless of your education, regardless of what color you are, what religion you are, if you make up your mind that you want to really, really go forward, there's nobody or nothing can stop you. There's only yourself that stands in your own way, and there's no one else can stop you. If you make your mind up that you want to do something, you'll go and do it. But if you make your mind up you're not going to do anything, then nobody's going to be able to move you. It's like a smoker. You can stick as many patches on that smoker as you want, but until that person makes his or her mind up they want to quit smoking, you can give them as many patches as you want, and nicotine, electronic cigarettes and everything else. They're never going to give up. There you go, a few more of those at the back. Right, I'm going to try and wrap it up because I know you're all hungry and I'm standing between the food, the main meal, and talking. I'm going to just allow 2 Q&As. If anybody got any questions that want answering? No? So everybody's hungry. Yes?
So I'd really like to understand what actually made you change where you were thinking originally to get to where you got to.
As I said, I was fortunate enough with having Jay Abraham as my very, very first mentor, somewhere about close to 30 years ago now, and he thinks totally way beyond, totally thinks. And then I've surrounded myself with people like Drayton Bird, J. Allen Summit, recently started working with Ben Gay III. Ben Gay III, by the way, those of you that don't know, he's got a book called The Closers, sold over 5 million copies of The Closers. Ben Gay, at the age of 25, had Napoleon Hill. Who's heard of Napoleon Hill and Zig Ziglar? At the age of 25, Zig Ziglar, who's in his 60s, Napoleon Hill, who was in his 60s, were working for him at the age of 25. So Google the guy, get hold of his book, read it. So I surround myself with all these sort of people who help me, because I don't have the answers to everything. I just learn from other people that have been there, learn from their journey, learn from their experiences. And I'm learning all the time, even at my age. I'm not giving up. My father lived to the grand old age of 102. I want to outlive him to 120, and I still want to be working. Right, one more question. No, it looks like you all want food. Yeah.
What advice would you give to businesses or people starting up new as a business who are just setting out right now?
If you're setting out right now, I would advise the best thing that you can do is try whatever industry you're looking to go into. Pull the reins back for 12 months, try and go get a job within that industry. Preferably a startup business or somebody who's been there only a few years. You'll learn more in that 12 months than you'll burn your own money in that 12 months. Unless you're adamant and you want to go it alone and risk that, by all means. Other than that, try and learn from somebody else that's already been there, or go and find a decent mentor that's in that industry and get them to guide you, even if it means giving some equity to them.
Makes sense, yeah.
Okay? Okay guys, anybody else want to have a chat? You'll have to catch me at coffee time.